It's already done. Come on, y'all sing that. As we worship. As we worship. Yeah, you're moving, you're moving. I'm living. As we worship. You are moving, you're moving, you're moving. Hey, by your power. Just for your name and your glory. It's already done. It's already done. It's already done. It's already done. We believe it. We receive it. We believe it. Because you said it. We believe it. We declare it. It's established in the spirit. Manifest. 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 We worship you, oh God. You are moving on our behalf. Hey, as we worship you, you are Yeshua HaMashiach, as we extol you, oh God. You are moving on our behalf. Because you said it. You said it. We believe it. You've given us the city. You've given us victory. You've given us. It's already done.
So, good night. Good night to those who are now joining. I was entertaining you from the GMS Live Radio Guyana. And if you turn on right now, you'll be hearing some gospel tunes in which I have running on the application right now. Good night. Black love to you all. Good night. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. And tonight is Grassroots Conversation, where I invite members of the diaspora and locally home here in Guyana to call in and speak upon a topic of your choice. Blow your mind. Talk what you want to talk. So before I start, let me start by saying good night to you who are now tuning in from Guyana to the Caribbean Isles, the West Indian Isles, the Pacific Isles, the Pacific Isles, the British Virgin Isles, the U.S. Virgin Isles, yes, the U.S. Virgin Isles, the Mexico, U.S., Canada, U.K., EU, Beijing, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Korean Peninsula, India, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan, the Australian continent. Good night to those who are joining us from the New Zealand Isles, the Tonga Isles, the African continent, the South American continent, as far as West Chile and Argentina, and as far away as Colombia and Venezuela and Brazil, Suriname, French and Dutch Guiana, the Netherlands, Curacao, Trinidad and Tobago, and to our sister Republic State of Barbados. Welcome to you all. Welcome to you all. And before I start tonight, just before I start any other thing tonight, let me ease the radio. Yes, before I start anything else tonight, I want to say to you that those here in Guyana, I need you to prepare for a heavy, rainy month of December. I know you're preparing for the Christmas. I know you're preparing for the holidays. For me, who is preparing to celebrate Kwanzaa from the 26th, for those who celebrate the other different things, I want to say to you that this is a month of lots of water. You're expected to have anything over 16 inches of rainfall, and that's a lot. 16 inches is a lot. They mightn't say that in plain words, but they're telling you, you hear on the radio, there's a constant warning of preparation for flood. So for those who are living in bottom flats, excuse me, for those who are living in bottom flats, you're asked to at least get some pallets and put the most valuable things on. That's one. Number two, shop some food items that are dry goods. If you know that you're strictly cooking with gas, hold on just a minute. Yes. For those who are cooking with gas, buy at least more than one bottle. So those who are using the kerosene stove, the Caro, or we say the kerosene oil, stock up on it, stock up on water, dry goods. So at least in case if there's a natural disaster, you will get to me, you'll get to prepare yourself for such an event should it happen. We don't know yet what is going to take place during this rainy season of December. We don't know how much effect it may have, how much it will affect people, or how much the natural, season of rain will affect those in either outlying areas in the Georgetown. Today, Georgetown was flooded. For those who had the opportunity, I went into Georgetown today and it was flooded. Water went down in certain parts. You're seeing markation of how people were affected in all sorts of ways in Georgetown. You name it. On the East Coast down to the East Bank was affected. On the East Coast down to the East Bank was affected with heavy rainfalls. It was flooded. Places like Prashad Nagar was affected. And Prashad Nagar is pretty high. Places like Prashad Nagar was affected today with water. And there's lots amount of expected rain, supposed to rain in Georgetown. Right? So we got to look out for that. We got to prepare ourselves for that. For those who are now joining in and having a problem with the radio station, it's simple. Let me show you how simple it is. Let me see if I can put up my phone here. For those who are looking, I don't think you can see it properly there. No, you can't really see it. But by the way, though, for those who are looking, the application is not hard. That's why if you want me to send you the app, because some people saying it's getting a hard time a hard time getting into Play Store to find the app. It's in Play Store and it's in App Store. So those who have Apple phones and not the Android, you can go into your Apple phone and you can find it. Well, how can you find it? It is simple. And it's the same way you can find it inside the Google Play Store, and the same way you can find it in the App Store. How can you find it that way? Type in Citrus Tree Online Radio App Guyana. CITRUS Radio App Guyana. CITRUS Citrus 3, as in the numeral 3, not the word THREE. You have to just put in numeral 3 or the number 3. Citrus tree, Radio Guyana. Citrus tree, Radio App Guyana. I think for the Google Play Store is Citrus Tree Online Radio App Guyana. And when you go into that, you're going to see a lot of applications with Guyana flags. And you can't miss me. My face can't hide. My face is my application. That's why it's not so hard to find. So when you go there and you scroll down, you see my face and you press on it, you install it into your phone or into the device that you have. When it's finished installing, you press play and then you'll hear the music, because let me play the music right now. Right. Tonight we're playing some Christian music, so I have it right now playing so you can get to understand it. Right. So the reason for this app, it is because I'm being interfered all the time. On Facebook, I got people trying to, I don't know what they're trying to do. Maybe they're trying to erase Mr. Matthews off of Facebook. It's okay. I don't have a problem. As people say, the stricter the government, the wiser the population. Fine. Now, I've paid for an application on a domain where I can have an online radio. And this online radio can also live stream me. So now, it wouldn't be hard for you to get Mr. Matthews. I can be live streamed from your device to the television set, so you can see me. You don't have to study hard. I will be live streaming on Facebook, yes. But in case that you cannot get me on Facebook, you can get me on my application, which will be found in Play Store and App Store, which is the Apple Store. You can find it there. So that is where I am at this time. So I'm asking you to download it. I'm asking you to keep abreast with it, because I think by tomorrow I'll be having some adjustments done to it. And I'll be able to do some live streaming. And you can be able to do as exactly as you feel. For those who are now joining in, it will be something like Mark Benchcap. But Mark Benchcap is having that radio program being streamed to Facebook. Mine is different. I have an application with my face on it. You can't miss it. As I say again, when you go into Google Play Store, to those who have Android application, you go into Google Play Store and you type in the word Citrus Tree, CITRUS, numeral 3, and not THREE, numeral 3. Radio Guyana apps, or Radio Apps Guyana, sorry. And when it will take you straight into that. And then you can scroll down and you can't miss me. I'm not hard to find. GMS Live, Radio Guyana, it's not hard to find. My face is the application. That's the kind of challenge I'm giving the de facto administration. So they themselves could log in. Better yet, can't interfere with the feed. You understand? So, to those who have already gotten it and you want to share it with other individuals, you can share it, because I've sent it to a lot of persons. And when you got through, for those who have gotten through, share it with others. Just send the same information I sent to you on WhatsApp to others. You can share it and they can log in. and they can find the radio station. It's easy. You don't gotta worry. The government never, the de facto regime never give me this. This is brain power. You understand? At least my cerebral capacity is working. Yes, somebody put it up there. Citrus Tree Radio app Guyana. Wonderful. Somebody just put it up. To those who are in the chat room. You understand? It's there. You don't have a hard time. So what I want to do, I want to make sure that I'm prepared to launch it, to come out. I'll be doing live streaming with it. At least I want to start. Let me see, by the time tomorrow afternoon, if all set and ready, I want to live stream with it on Monday to those who can afford, especially to those who are home and using the Wi-Fi. Will be better if you're using your Wi-Fi, so you can log into the application, and I want to do some live streaming with it. If I can live stream with it on Facebook, because we're trying to get that done. You still get to see me. I don't know if it will live stream to Twitter and YouTube at the same time, but it will be through the application for those, because I'm trying to do this in a way so come January 1, 2022, that'll be my focus. So it's like creating a lot of heat to the PPP and make sure the fire's being aroused so the pot can get hot, so the water can boil. You understand? So to those who are looking, to those who are now joining, share the live. So I want you to call into tonight. It's your night. It is Grassroots Conversation on Friday nights. Tell a friend, meet one, tell one. Soon to come on the phone, tell them Black Love. Gavin Matthews is on tonight. Make sure you spread this word when you finish tonight. Every Friday night is Grassroots Conversation, where persons can call in. And when they can call in, they can give a voice of their own opinion. I don't want any cursing. I don't even care if it's the PPP people. You understand? Because I'm making provisions for you. The PPP don't make provisions for you, but I'm making some provisions. I want you to call. But you can't call and talk things that they make sense, because I'm a factual man. So don't call and don't think you're going to get opposition. So we got to talk things that make sense. Right? So tonight is that night. I want to be able to entertain you, and so we can have this grassroots conversation. In the meantime, today I had a conversation with one of my fellow Guyanese. And before that, let me play at least a minute of the radio station so you can hear the kind of music to those who are trying to log in to hear the radio station. This is what is playing right now. It's gospel. So the minute you turn it on and you're hearing this, right? Just to let you know, it's gospel, yes, and it's the GMS Live Radio Guyana. The GMS stands for Gavin Matthews Show Live Radio Guyana. That's my application, right? Right. So I had a conversation today, and apparently people are not really getting the drift of what is going on in this country. So let me expound upon a little of the conversation. The conversation was the 9.5 billion Guyana dollars. No, billion US dollars. 9.5 billion US dollars that was spent by Exxon Mobil, who is now requesting attention from the de facto administration on this money that was spent, but you know they got to get it back. So who got to pay them? Taxpayers, not the government. Taxpayers got to pay them back. So we're having a problem now. We're having a problem with people understanding the kind of amount of monies that is now owed to Exxon Mobil. Just a minute. Yes, the amount of monies that are now owed to Exxon Mobil. So here is the problem. The guy was telling me that the government to pay the money and see the pass a $3 billion budget. So I asked him, I said, do you think the $3 billion is US or Guyana? He says money is money, $3 billion is a lot of money. So I asked him, I said, look, how much do you think $3 billion Guyana dollars in the exchange rate of US currency? How much you think is $3 billion Guyana dollars? Hold on. Yes. I asked him, I said, how much you think is $3 billion Guyana dollars equivalent to US currency? He tried to tell me billion is billion and all kind of things. And I said, every 5 million US dollars is 1 billion Guyana dollars. So he started making some interventions in his head. I said, you check it. It is 3.46 billion. That's the budget. And they're trying to add another 200 million to it. So I said every 5 million US dollars is a billion Guyana dollars. So they passed a budget of 3 billion point whatever. I said Guyana is worth 15 million US dollars. He said, nah, you get a calculation. So I said, I just tell you, Skipper. I told him, I said, Skipper, I just tell you that 5 million US is equivalent to 1 billion Guyana dollars. Every million is 200,000, 200 million, sorry. So it's 200 million, 400 million, 600 million, 800 million, 1 billion. Every million is 200 million. Why you think Charandas could give up his no confident vote and run away to Canada and come back and working for the same PPP? Because he have never seen so much money yet in his life. One vote costs 200 million, a no confident vote. The man never see $1 million US dollars yet. How can you get confident in these people? But we're going back to the same conversation. Guyana is worth $15 million. 15 million US dollars. The Bank of Guyana cannot issue nothing in excess of 20 million US dollars as foreign exchange on the market. They can't issue nothing in excess of 20 million because you cannot go beyond of what is the budgetary allocation. So you can imagine, look at the difference. I'm trying to educate this individual. Look at the difference of 9.5 billion US dollars. You can imagine we economy only worth 15 million. They created the consolidated fund to spend things triple amount of what the economy can give. Let us say, for instance, now you could spend 40 million US dollars. But you can't go past 40 million because you got to work within the unexpected allocation of foreign exchange. So now they pass 50, nearly 60 million US dollars. This de facto administration has already spent since since they come into power. They have already passed and surpassed that amount. That means they spent over $1 billion. No, they spent over $8 billion so far. And climbing, let us say they've already spent $1 trillion. No, sorry, they didn't spend $1 trillion yet. It's hundreds of billions they got to spend. My thoughts. Let us say they already spent over 10 billion Guyana dollars. And climbing. But here was the problem. How can they give account for 9 billion when they themselves doesn't have anything in excess of 20 to 40 million US dollars? I'm talking about the de facto administration. Y'all see where I'm coming from? And look who is in charge of making sure that they talk about this money. The US Chambers of Commerce that are here in Guyana. They can't, you can imagine this de facto administration can't even approach them for nothing. Exxon Mobil went outside of the contract to order another vessel to be built for the oil section. Don't worry, you build it. We can pose the bill to the government of Guyana. What do you think happens there? These people are accustomed to bullying these countries everywhere they go. They're accustomed to putting governments in place that are the stooge. So if we give them a little bonus of 18 million US dollars, which surpasses the worth of their economy, they're going to run wild. You can imagine in Barjack those days when he was president, they gave him a bonus of 25 million and so many Guyanese died. They had a genocide in this country for $25 million. Then you had people die out for 60. One night, women and children were murdered. The Luziknan massacre. One night, women and children die. dropped like fleas. So you could imagine what went on. What really went on? Moses, if you had $100 million, you got everybody scrambling right now for start talking to each other and agreeing with each other. I got a special topic that I want to brace upon that is so terrible, but it got to be talked about. Do you know about the Congress that are supposed to be taking place? I think it's tomorrow, the 11th and the 12th. The PNC Congress that's supposed to elect a new leader to the party. Now it's now being suggested that it be postponed for another week. I'm going to tell you something. We're looking at the Gavin Matthews show. And I want you to understand that it's not what you think. Hold on. Let me get it straight. It's not that people are not really seeing the factor. Here, what's the factor? Hold on. Here, what's the factor? The People's National Congress has financiers. And when I say financiers, I mean people who would pay their monies to run that political party for a number of amount of years. And some of these financiers are permanent financiers. These people pay their money on a monthly basis or pay their money on a weekly basis, or they permanently pay their money for the running of the day-to-day and month-to-month, year-to-year of this political party. And these financiers would indicate to the party that who they want to run the party. Don't let me get mixed up with it. These people indicate to us or to the party who they want to run the party. They indicate to them at a very early age, at a very early stage, You always wonder why all these different parliamentarians are running behind Mr. Harman, supporting him, trying to throw their support, whilst the people don't really want him. But the financiers doesn't care. They say who they want. Some of them financiers are even being financed or even being the financiers of both sides of the political realm. There are a particular one get a PPP 640 million, and the same one get a PNC about another 300 something million. That's how it works. Again, as I said, I want you to understand, to those who are looking. Sometimes you wonder why Everybody knows that people do not support Mr. Joseph Harmon. Everybody knows that. Lots of people, not only in Guyana, but overseas. Those small groups in the diaspora knows that nobody really wants Harmon. But then when you turn up or you turn on the television, you turn on the radio, said there's a constant support of Mr. Harmon. And that constant support is there. It is not moving. But the constant outcry, which is a majority by the people, are not being heard. Because the financiers are pushing to make him the leader of the opposition. Y'all getting my point? So there's a constant push. There's a constant push against the tide of those who are crying for change by money. So what happens now? They're trying to cancel. They're trying to cancel out the candidacy of the party because not only the financiers want him, the de facto administration want him too because it's the only way they can get things done. They know if they put Norton there, it's a whole different story. For me, if you look at it from my point, now is the time for a creation of a new third party. I'm sorry to say so. Some people may say, what about the AFC? Well, here was the problem with the AFC. The AFC had a constitution that they created. And in that constitution, there were certain rules and procedures that you cannot break. Like, for instance, you cannot go back to the party of your origin. Like, if you come from the PDP, you can't go back there. You come from the PNC, you can't go back there. The AFC also had rules that depends on whichever major party they want to join, it must be for a temporary reason. Just to create balance within the voting structure of the Guyanese people. They also broke that. By who? Let me tell you by who. The first person that jumped overboard and broke that constitution was Charandas. When he voted yes in a no confident vote. Can you remember? He broke that major rule of the party, that constitution of the party. Broke it. Went overboard. And the second thing he did was to come back to Guyana and work for the party of his origin, which is the PPP. Came back and worked for them. He's now ambassador to India from Guyana. Sorry, Sharad, but I can't help it. People need to understand, and people need to be educated, especially those who look at the Gavin Matthews show. You need to understand and become educated upon the principles in which politics run by in this country. And those who signed on to such a constitution need to live by it. You either live by it or die by it. That is why the people are so confused. Even to those in the PPP. You think it's only the APNU, AFC, PNC story dirty? The PPP hunter, they are more dirty. It stinks. Let me tell you why. Do you know why Mr. the criminal, the rat, Jack Dio is vice president? You want to know why? Because he knows very well the Hindu community will never trust Irfan Ali because they know that he's a Muslim. Y'all get my point? And there's a power struggle because really the PPP party, really the PPP party is a Hindu-based political party. It's not really designed for the people like Irfan Ali. It's designed for the people like the Jack Dios and the Chatris, the Nandalals, and all of these people. So the problem is they're not getting the kind of outlook, that kind of support. That's why they weren't any much support at all for Mr. Irfan Ali as president. They weren't support basically in the ground, and they weren't support basically in the votes. That's why they lost the election. So we got two political parties. One accustomed to terrorism and murder and mayhem. Now, more terrible more than ever, the racism. And the next one, we like scrambled eggs. Don't know which part of the fence to sit on. Because if we good at accumulating our votes and our support, why aren't we good enough to hold on to it? Why we can't hold on to our support and our votes? You know why? Money talks. And that's a serious problem. Nobody want to talk about it. Up to today, I had that conversation. That's a serious, serious problem. Nobody talking about it. One man get locked up. Now he's a member of parliament. Since he realized that his salary jumped $2 million a month as a member of parliament, we got serious problems. Real problems in the place. It's hard now to get them out of their shell to represent the people. Y'all get my point? We need to identify the problems. And we need to bring solution to the problems. People is get vexed when government should talk about it. When you don't get vexed, don't get vexed. Listen. The truth is right in front of you. It can't run and go nowhere. This is how these people behave. This is how these biases behave. And the PPP likes that. Why I think they don't want anything to do with Aubrey Norton? Because they know when Aubrey Norton becomes opposition leader, they know if the people tell Hey, the rat got run is Michael Jackson across the stage. It's Michael Jackson across the stage. And I want you listening to me now, don't misunderstand me. There's no perfect political party. The difference is you got to hold your political representatives accountable. If we, the people, cannot be for the people, by the people, it makes no sense. Because we're so accustomed to giving all the rule and leadership to one man without having accountability. You must expect this to happen. It's common sense. If you put all your hopes and trust and all your eggs in one basket for one man to control, you will find corruption. Because he's going to do it his way, not your way. That's the problem with the PPP. This is why the PPP cannot win an election. I'm going to tell you all the secret. They never win an election. That's the fact. In the 1950s and 60s, they were winning elections based upon the percentages for the Queen of England. It was 55 to 57%. That's what she holds to in every constitution. For countries who fall under the British rule. And you have 47 to 48%. 47 to 41% of the electorate to deal with. So their votes, their representation, their winning power is based upon 41% all the time. And their proportion, the seats given was more than the votes garnered. That's why they have problems with Forbes Burnham. That is why the word PR came in. Proportional representation. It is simple. You get more votes, you get more seats. You get less votes, you get less seats. You can't win on a situation based upon that. It can't work. The Westminster system couldn't work. We still got it. But something that crippled that was the proportional representation. That's the problem. Hold on. I just blocked somebody there. I got somebody that I had to block. So that was the problem. So we find the same problem they want to reintroduce. Only region 4 is the only region because that's the only place now that has the largest makeup of the population of Guyana. Region number 4, they want to divide it into 4 blocks. Now, can you imagine? This is it. The PNC's strongest district is Region 4. All the time. They always get 60 to 70% of the votes. Now the PPP wants to break up Region 4 to try to win it with 30%. Here's how they're going to try to win it. If on the East Coast has 15% of the votes, they want to award at least 6 seats to the East Coast than to Georgetown that has 60% of the votes and award 3 seats. Yeah, I'll sleep in. But this is what these people sit down doing. And they're not only sitting down doing it like that, they're doing it sitting down doing it with the knowledge of the opposition. Because the opposition can't know they said it, they know what the PPP doing. They know what the PPP doing. They can't come to you and say, oh, the push us in my face, and then they say, well, I got to study it. And I didn't know until today is the vote fit. No, they knew from in advance. You know, we're having a serious problem with being knowledgeable of the fact. And it's a game now being played by all parties. The less educated you be, it's the better for me. I would always seize power in the way that I want to. The more educated you be, it's the more problem for me. You want me to show you why? Let us look at the PPP's constituencies. Start there. Check the educated Indians. Sorry, East Indians, not Indians, East Indians, as they call themselves. They have problems with them because those are the ones that are now becoming educated, and they want to become independent of the PPP because they realize the PPP has one politics. It's divide and conquer. It's the race vote. So the more ignorant you become, it is the better for them. Because when they turn up and ask for your vote, they're going to say, well, bye. You got to vote Kuli for Kuli. So they're now understanding that they got a young ones like themselves who are educated. They can't push that to them. That is why in the last election, you found more East Indian Guyanese came over to the AP and UFC because it became inclusive. It invited people of all walks and all ethnic groups, educated ones. But the problem with the AP and UFC is that the executive still wants to treat you like the little child. No, sorry. Step aside. Let the young ones take over. Step aside and let the ones who can handle the PPP take over. Makes no sense. You sit down there because it can be another 5 years, Joseph Harmon and team. When you have a de facto administration that is sitting there that were installed, never elected. Never elected. What you think gonna happen? They want to push it off to another week. Why? So what? The judgment of the appeal courts can fall in the same time? We never hold our weight. There's too much drama right now for Guyanese. It's too much drama for me. That's too much drama for me. I can't entertain that. As a matter of fact, I cannot be entertained. That's why they got problems with Gavin Matthews. Because I can't sit down and see the truth. It is presented in front of all of us. And yet still we can turn around, got in my mind and say, oh, boy, I know, man, let me try and see what can happen. No, let me try and see what can happen. It ain't got nothing for say let me try and see what happen. I ain't up on the trying business. Sorry. The trying business can't work. Can't work at all. So hold a minute for me, please. Let me check. I think somebody was just trying to call in. Let's see if I can get back this person. Let me see if I can call back. Hold on. See if I can call this person here. Yes. So the definite problem is for us is that we need to come to that realization that these things ain't really profiting us. It ain't really carrying us to that part so that we can benefit from it. You know, we just living in a different sphere. I don't know what's up really, but we're living in a position where we're all left amazed and we have to accept the conditions that are being set to us by these politicians. I mean, come on, we gotta be serious. Since you hear $9.5 billion cannot be really given an accountability for, it's not something you could sit down and just shake your head at it. We supposed to still got protests going on. These people supposed to lie down and sleep when the night come. Air fraud supposed to sit down counting the gray hair in the head, knowing that if he can run mad at number 10 or number 15. Because these people feeling too comfortable. And we are left at a position where it's constantly taking us overboard. Seriously. It's taking us overboard because we're not gaining anything from it. We are not. We're definitely not gaining anything from it. It ain't profiting we nothing as a people. We're left amazed at the simple things that are happening. Hello? Hello? Yes, this is the GMS Live. This is Gavin Matthews Show calling you back. Hello? Okay. Just now. Hold on, wait. I think I had some missed calls there. Hi,
good night, Gavin.
Hi, good night to you. This is GMS Live.
How you doing?
Good night to you.
Good. Thank you. Wonderful show. Very interesting topic tonight. I've been trying to get onto your show for a few days now, and I was so a little frustrated because I guess your show is so hot that it's difficult to get onto. Anyway, my interest tonight would be, it's a good thing that you're looking elsewhere to get the word out to the Guyanese people with the app, with the radio app, and the StreamYard and so on, which is a good thing. Mm-hmm. Because what I have to inform the Guyanese people that what's going on in Guyana through Facebook, it's not Facebook, official Facebook, that is tampering with your call-in or you're trying to get onto Gavin Matthews program. I can tell you personally what happened to me through what's being done, either from your internet provider or coming from GT&T.
Mm-hmm.
They had, and I reported it. I gave the authorities my phone. I had to get a new phone because everything is there's digital footprints that were left there. I cannot see anything from your show.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot see anything from Sherrod's show or the guy from the Wanted Bulletin thing. Kadaki, none of it. And I want to know why. So I use a different phone. But there it is, Gavin Matthews program. So I reported this information, and that's serious because nobody disrespect or tamper with Americans. You cannot tap their phones. You cannot listen to their conversations. And that's being done from abroad through Guyana.
Mm-hmm.
I logged out of my Facebook. And as I said, I tried a different phone. There's everything there about Gavin Matthews. How is it? Everything for your program, Mark, was wiped from my phone. How that happened, I don't know. But I did report the information to the relevant authorities, and there's digital footprints there. So it will be investigated. And I said that that's coming from Guyana, whoever is doing it. I noticed you mentioned it a few nights ago, but it is the truth.
You know, the
Guyanese have to be very careful, and it's easy to report. For those smartphones, all you have to do is shake the phone, and immediately a snapshot is taken of whatever information you just made a report about, and that goes directly to Facebook or Apple. I don't know how the Androids work, but it is not Facebook who is doing this. This is the Guyana government is censoring or tapping in. I'm not sure if it's legal what they're doing to Guyanese people, because they're doing that so that your viewers, Mark, Sherrod, and I just don't remember his name, Kadaki, and the others. They're doing that. They're censoring your programs, interfering with it, and from if they're doing it to overseas people, that's illegal. I don't know what the kind of constitution says that they can do it to Guyanese. I am not sure. But
well, if I must add, they're taking me to court. They have me in court right now before the magistrate courts on what they say it is a cyber crime, and somehow or the other they said that I've said something on my. They said I use some device to broadcast ill things about Mr. Ramson, Charles Ramson Jr. that caused him emotional distress.
Yes,
but
I heard of that.
The thing that they're trying to use, which is illegal, they're trying to use as a matter of fact, as I am sitting here right now, I figure out maybe they have altered that information that they got from Facebook, because that's what they said. They said it's some information that they got from Facebook.
Right.
So I'm saying
that
is illegal.
Understand, Gabby. You first of all, your registration
Mm-hmm.
You're an activist, okay?
Yeah.
You're not a politician. You're not a terrorist. There is
Mm-hmm.
no clause. Facebook does not do that. That's coming from the
Right.
censorship of Guyana, the government, the
Mm.
dictators. They're heading towards dictatorial uh, leadership in Guyana. It's heading there because
Mm-hmm.
there's not much opposition towards what they're doing. What they're doing is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
It is censoring Guyanese free speech, taking people to court. And I really don't know why people are pleading guilty and paying fines.
As a matter of fact, I don't even know why the magistrates are allowing it.
Exactly. Unless the Constitution does not say that you have uh, free speech rights, unless it does not say that. But what they're doing, they don't want to tell you, but it will come out. They're interfering with Guyanese personal devices. They have wherever this this they're manding this from, GT&T, whoever, somewhere they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It is not Facebook. You're not a terrorist. The
Mm-hmm.
only time Facebook does those things to you, you have to be in that category. And definitely you're not. Sherrod is not. Kadaki is not. Mark is not. On the international stage, they're not. Maybe in the dictatorial stage, they are. So Guyanese need to be very vigilant. Your the there is the app, or there is that device that track your movements, your positions. You need to turn that off. You do not use that in game. You don't need to use it. You need to disable it and create a password security where you have a backup security, more than one telephone number. So in case somebody's trying to get into your system, you will be alert, and you have two security features attached to it.
Like what they did
I
to
have to
mine.
take my phone and give it to the relevant authorities. There's nothing they can do to make it move. It's there. That's what they did to my phone, and that is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for that. One other issue that I would like to talk about is the fact that you did. I was so uh, touched when you mentioned Guyanese need to prepare for the weather, the rainy season that is coming. It's amazing. I did geography in Guyana in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm surprised that our the educated ones that are, they're more educated in terms of the different aspects, or the different levels of weather patterns in Guyana. Now, those different platforms, the different uh, landings that we have drilling for oil, remember, they're burning oil as well.
Yes.
When you have more than, I'm not sure how many they are, you're burning, because they can't take off the amount of oil that they're taking out. So they
Right.
have to burn
They
some
gotta
of it.
burn some into the atmosphere,
Correct.
which would
It
change
has
the
to
weather
be burned,
pattern.
because you can't, we don't have the manpower to barrel all those oil. Here it says hundreds of millions of barrels a day, right, Gavin? Some of that oil is being burnt. You
Mm.
have many different locations doing this in Guyana. What does that create in the atmosphere? It creates a lot of rain clouds. Rain clouds will do what? When it bursts, it turns to rain.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we had that terrible floods a few months ago. We will have more of that, lots more of it, and we're not prepared for that. Georgetown is low. That's one. That's the main thing. The seawall eventually it's going to duck.
Georgetown
No
is
matter
far
how
low.
much drainage you clean the drain, the problem is what we have over there in the ocean.
Yes.
They're creating excess rain by burning fuel. It will happen. So indeed, Guyanese need to be prepared. It's going to be miserable, and then they will not enjoy that. There's no way you will enjoy it. Gavin, you're doing a wonderful job.
It's amazing when
my heart hurts every night listening to you. To know, I mean, your word is getting through. Don't get me wrong, your word is getting to the right places, and it's a good thing that you're trying with the radio. I'm not sure if this is the short band radio, and if you do need, you should look into that as well, because I'm not sure if you need a license for that. But look into the short band radio. It's easy. It's more accessible. If some people don't have phones and this sophistication of seeing you, they can listen.
I know.
And the word eventually will get around. And I think Guyanese ought to be very, very vigilant.
Mm-hmm.
Be very vigilant. And I don't mean vigilant just at one thing. I'm talking about the political parties, both of them.
Okay.
I heard you mention something just now about financiers financing both parties. Well, let me say this: if the people's chosen one is not elected, because we have seen it, he may not get the full support publicly, or I should say via the television. The demand is out there, and people want Mr. Norton. And if he does not get elected, I strongly recommend, and we're going to do it in the diaspora, there's going to be a third party. It will, and this party will be progressive. It will not be old-fashioned, antiquated, slow coaches.
I'm serious. I am dead serious. If I don't see changes within if I don't see changes within this opposition by the will of the people, it makes no sense. At least I wouldn't sit here and prop up Mr. Harmon. I wouldn't say anything good about him and his leadership.
Exactly. Progressiveness, Guyanese need to demand that. I grow a level above my parents. My parents were poor, but they didn't want that for me. Mm-hmm. Likewise, the level I grew up in, I don't want that for my children. I want it to be a step up. Mm-hmm. If my mom was a domestic, I don't want to be a domestic. If my father was a king cutter, I don't want to be a king cutter. No.
Understood.
Likewise with my children. I don't want my children to be like me. I want my children to be better than me. Comfortable. Be independent for themselves, because they now have to think about their families. You don't want to start. You had a good standing, and you caused situations to be in such a dire strait that your children got to start from scratch. And that's what it's repetitive. That's what's going on in Guyana. 900 billion or however. Tell me, Where are the developments in Guyana? None. All we're gonna have is
I
people
said it.
leaving
I said it
every
from the
5 years.
inception. When
Yes.
Sarah and Lynch brought those investors to Guyana, they never thought about. They never spoke about in that interview. I can never forget. I think Gordon Mosey was one of them who were interviewing them.
Mm.
She never spoke about these people investing in Guyana. She said that these people come to invest in the oil industry. We're taking the money back.
Exactly.
It's back home to the home
Exactly.
country, not to
Exactly.
Guyana.
Exactly. Not to Guyana because first of all, the politicians don't care.
Of course.
They don't care.
And
All of them care
when you talk about them,
what's in
everybody
their
vexed.
personal pocket. Yes. They don't care. There's no way they care.
Let me.
You look good. The same countries will come in here and will install them. They don't want to give public servants raises or teachers raises, but you going to their country,
they don't even want a local.
housing.
They don't even want the local content to be designed and be left into the laws so Guyana can be beneficial from these external investors. They don't even want a local content to be designed into the laws. You can imagine.
They do not want that.
You can imagine one crook telling you the biggest crook, which is Exxon Mobil, who's investing in local content, and they got a commercial. Giving a couple people footballs is part of being of a local content. Giving a couple people building a community center is being involved with local. No, local content is our laws. When we say God give you 55%, that's it. Go ahead.
I'm so happy you mentioned that football.
But Anna, I talk
about just now. If my parents was rice farmers, sugar workers, a domestic, I do not want to be that.
Well,
my ambition is to be more than one level above them. Likewise, my children. What can football do for you in Guyana?
Nothing. But I want to continue this conversation, but I got a few people that are calling. So
yes, all right, very well.
I must return their calls. I want to say thank you very much for calling and sharing your views.
Thank you, Gavin. You have a very good night.
Yes, you too.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Okay, just a minute. I know there are people who are calling. As I know, I got a few missed calls. Let me take this one. Yeah. Just hold a bit for me, please. I am trying to respond to all those who are calling. Yeah, good night. This is GMS Live calling you back. This is Gavin Matthews Live calling you back. Voice of Democracy. Good night.
Yeah, good night. I want to make a contribution to your program.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, I'm a concerned citizen in this country, and I've been watching and observing. We all as Guyanese sit and see the election, how it went. And we are seeing that the government that is that was there should have been there. And the government that is not there is there now. And the thing about it is that we all see and know that, well, listen, man, an election, once it got a problem and it got all this discrepancy, there is no way where nobody could be sworn in as winning the election. And I think I hear Barra Jagdio stand up on national television and say anybody that believes that AP and UAFC won the election, they got to be retarded and mentally, retarded, and they have to be stupid and making a set of narrative statement against persons who see and understand and know that where there's a problem, there must be an issue to resolve it. And the issue to resolve it is not by installing one and saying that, oh, well, this is the problem, it resolved. And then besides that, look what these people doing. These people discriminating against this country, against black people in particular, as though like if we ain't got no rights in this country, as though like if, you know what I mean, Coffee didn't make any contribution, you know, Bonham make no contribution, Walter Rodney make no contribution, and all these things we hear that they ain't got no role model in black communities. Well, I would like Mr. Ramson to know that I'm a role model around the youngsters them that I grew up, and I grew up around elders, and I see them as role model, and I have adapted, understand, my principles of their out of their book, and I is a role model, and I know that got a lot of black role model, and I don't understand what really going on, but I watch him for see all these politicians them, what are saying that to them as politicians, and they're really defending. You understand me? The poor people cause against what's going on in this country. There's a man by the name of Nigel Brandon. I'm very much proud of him coming out to London, and I'm looking to see what impact that road model, because he's a road model as well, and I'm looking to see what impact the road model will make for us. So my contribution tonight to this program is that we have a lot of road models, and we, the people, going to stand up and show that we are role models, and we can remove this PPP in the government with the nonsense we're going on with. Thanks for your time, and thanks for all the viewers for listening and hearing my voice. And let me take this fight to these people, because it ain't over.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling. Stay safe and be careful. Okay, so let me make one more call. I'm trying to get everybody on board that we're calling in. There are a few persons that were calling. So,
hello.
Yes, good evening to you. This is GMS Live, Voice of Democracy, calling you back. I know I had your missed calls. So tonight is normally be the grassroots conversation with the people in the diaspora and locally here to call in and just talk upon what bothers you. Lay your point on the table so others can listen.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
for accepting my call and returning my call too.
Yes.
What is kind of mind-boggling from since the starting of this issue with GCOP, when Jagdev said he's not speaking with any coded word or language, and these officers from GCOM would not be at GCOM for any upcoming elections. His words and promise was forthcoming, as we see today. We hear nothing from the opposition. No demands from the opposition. And this opposition that being led by a leader who is now contested now to be confirmed to be the real leader. He never made any comment. Now today, it was shocking to listen to his press conference that he's comparing what the chairwoman did and what made her come up with the decision to support the present CEO. Now, he's telling the supporters or telling Guyanese it doesn't make sense. Her decision to confirm that guy was based upon a former chairman. Now, that means clearly the criteria weren't followed. Now, you were giving a press conference highlighting that and then accept what took place. So then I see any reason for you to condemn Credit Singh. Because at the end of your speech, you agree and confirm also that you will work along with what decision that GCOM made to elect a CEO. Now, can any Guyanese make sense out of this nonsense? I'm hoping that delegates that they're paying keen attention to this opposition leader that we have right now. You know, the last that I know, when Patterson was there, the PPP did all what they could have done with their research and take that matter to the court, and they were successful. You want to tell me with that nonsense that Claudette Singh explained to the Guyanese people or reasons to cast that decision vote is upon somebody else's opinion? I can't really understand this nonsense that is going on right now. I would really, I'm saying this over and over, I would like to see when that Messiah, because the way how they're behaving, this election here at Congress Place going to be producing a Messiah. And a Messiah going to be the margin out of that. I would like to see how the Messiah will operate with the political space that's going to left there. When they do, hopefully that they do get a conference.
Mm-hmm.
That they ain't getting postponement upon postponement. You know, so it doesn't make sense, Gavin. I don't know what the opposition is doing. I can't predict. And the next thing with these guys, and most of the intellectuals, them, you know, that nobody's listening to the grassroots people. Nobody's, which means the supporters here on the ground. And every religious thing, 95.4% of what these supporters are saying coming to pass. And these representatives is not even paying any mind to what the supporters are saying and what they want. You know.
Yeah, I understand.
Because if they listen to the supporters, they don't want to get Claudette Singh happy. Did they get that acting Chief Justice happy? And I tell you, if the shoe was on the other foot, none of those two individuals would have been sitting hearing anything concerning this election. They would have do everything in the power to get rid of both of them. That is ruling in a consistent manner on one side all the time. And the explanation has no sense or logics. The opposition, something is wrong. Something is not adding up there. You know, something is not adding up that what is going on right now in the opposition. That leader seems a kind of a questionable.
Questionable?
Something is wrong.
He is a questionable character. He is a questionable character. But I wish we could continue the conversation some more.
Yes,
must have to go.
Thank you.
I appreciate that that you'll be able to come on and vent your dissatisfaction and what you would like to see going on in Guyana. I mean, we gotta be serious. We can't only be we gotta find solutions. We can't only complain about the problem. Yep. We gotta find solutions, and we gotta get rid of this problem, man, because it's sickening me over and over. Every day I wake up and meet this de facto administration that was installed. It just gets me more angry, and I don't want to live every day being angry because these people are murderers and they're dictators, and they don't like when I say lock me up, but I don't care. You understand?
Every logical Guyanese should have had that same kind of feelings
and
thoughts.
I want to say thank you again. Stay safe and be careful.
Thank you too to allowing me to hear my frustration. Thanks.
Yes, good. You're welcome. I want to say thank you to those who were joining me for that particular time also too. I must have to go. I must say thank you once again. Stay safe, be careful, sanitize yourself, wear a mask. And don't forget the little ones you take into public places. Don't forget the referendum and the contributions to the referendum, and also to the feeding program that I want to do before the 20th of this month to people that are in need. Please check in on my GoFundMe page that you can find it on the Gavin Matthews Show Live page on Facebook, and then you can contribute if you would like to on that. So thank you very much once again. This is Dr. Matthews saying good night and Cheerios for now.